Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Michael, Spider Mike, the Outlaw Medic. Welcome to my new venture. I hope y'all will join me and support me and follow me along the way. This is pretty much me getting into the whys, the whats of my career. 23 years in EMS, becoming a paramedic, a flight paramedic, offshore paramedic, 911 paramedic, critical care paramedic, all fun things in EMS. My journey along the way, my ups, my downs, good times, bad times, my fuck ups, my embarrassing times, all that good shit. This first video is it's not going to be the best. I'm pretty sure the first couple of videos are going to suck, but this is to segue into that, hopefully I'll grow along the way and you guys will follow me and the following will grow, and we'll go from there. What I'm going to be talking about, some of the things I'm going to be talking about is, like the beginning of my career, how I got into EMS, what sacrifices I had to make or already made to do it, what obstacles I had to overcome, and then the obstacles I overcame along the way. Some pretty interesting things that I had to go through that most people don't know about. So I'd like to share that with y'all. Also want to talk about some of the things I've learned as far as things I didn't implement back in the day that I should have. One of the things I know I should have done back then that I didn't do that I know now is I needed to protect my mind and my heart and my body. And in this field, we don't do that very often. Back when I came up, the topic of of health and wellness was almost non-existent. They'd talk about CISD. It was like one small chapter, but never really harped anything on that. And I think that was something that should have been talked about a hell of a lot more in EMS, because of the shit we see. And in my heart, of course, I carried a lot of the things that I dealt with, a lot of the losses and things like that I endured along the way, and myself, my partner, co-workers, just a lot of things that I wasn't prepared for well. I don't think I was prepared well enough for it in school. As far as protecting the body, same thing, man. It's like we are one of the most unhealthy first responder jobs in the world. EMS. I'm not talking about fire. I'm not talking about law enforcement. But EMS alone, man, we have some of the most unhealthy people working in it. Take a look around you. I've worked with tons and tons of partners and along the way that have been absolutely out of shape and out of what I think should be the optimal as far as health, and for me, I was one of those people. I was a pack-a-day smoker. I didn't work out. I would drink all the time. I'd have a long shift, get out of work, go home, sleep for a couple hours, get up and go straight to the bar and spend hours there getting hammered, and then yeah, I'm sure some of y'all have done it, go to work the very next morning. Sometimes I'd show up to work still drunk, get the old IV going and sober up as best you could and then rock it out again for another 24 hours. That's some of the shit I got into, some of the things that I did in my career that I think it's definitely things that we should have or I should have taken more seriously. After a while, those things take their toll on you, and so that's something that a message I hope to convey to you all that are watching. Hopefully you can learn, especially you new EMTs or or new medics that are getting into this, that there's a lot more that you need to do than just learn the book and learn everything you can about medicine. It's not about just recognizing every rhythm on an EKG and learning how to interpret anterior wall MI versus lateral wall MI versus posterior wall MI, where there's more to it than that, and I think that's where I went wrong. One of the things I did wrong was I didn't focus on my mental health. I didn't focus on my heart health and my physical health. My mental health was it took a long back seat to most everything else I got into. As far as my heart, when I say my heart health, is I carried a lot of the losses that I dealt with, as far as patients and whatnot along the way. I carried that, and I didn't do anything. I didn't deal with it. I pretty much buried a lot of that shit. So my heart, my mind were affected, and then physically, I I was a pack-a-day smoker for the majority of my career, up until about 2013 is when I had my last cigarette. Pack-a-day smoker. I'd get off a shift, I'd sleep for a couple hours, and I'd go to the bar, and I'd get hammered. I'd hang out with coworkers, and that's all we did. We'd drink, we'd talk about stupid shit that we do, and bad calls, and we just reminisced, and that was it. It's like we call that debriefing, choir practice, and then we'd get super drunk, and some of us had to be at work the very next day. So of course, you show up to work and get the old IV going, and sober up, hydrate again, and then go back at it again. But that's some of the lessons, hard lessons I learned in EMS, and they do catch up to you. It caught up to me. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to start right now with the beginning of my career. When I got into EMS, I was a felon, and incidentally, that was my first nickname in EMS, was felon, for my teacher, Stacy. That was pretty awesome. I had a felony on my record, and I had to write a letter to the state of Texas and ask them for permission. I have to go out there and I have to put everything out there and ask them for permission to let me become an EMT. How I got to that moment was I was sitting at a bar with a friend of mine, and we were drinking, I think it was a margarita, and eating nachos. I was homeless then, believe it or not. I was homeless, living out of a car. And he was talking to me about he was going to go to this place in El Paso, Texas. It was called Heart. IPCS was the name of the school. Heart IPCS on Buckner Street. He was talking about going to go take this test to see if he'd qualify to get accepted in the class, become an EMT. And he asked me if I wanted to go. I was like, fuck no, I don't fucking go. I don't know what the fucking EMT is. I had no idea. I knew ambulances and firemen and shit and police, but I didn't know anything about what it entailed. So he told me, yeah, it's probably right. It's probably better that you don't go because you probably couldn't take it. Oh, fuck. That pissed me off, man. That right there was like the trigger. I was like, fuck you, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. So I went with him. We took the test, and I guess I scored well enough to be accepted in the course. And I started in the class. And I was homeless when I started EMT school. I was living out of a 4-door Saturn with a cool sunroof, which was a stolen car, by the way. Yeah, felon. I fit right in. So I got into the class. I had more to prove than pretty much everybody there. When I'd get out of class, I had nowhere to go, so I'd go to Denny's, and I had a girlfriend at the time, Jessica, God rest her soul, my baby mama. She passed away last year. She was there with me. She would go with me. We'd go to the Denny's over there off the highway in El Paso, and she was a full-time student at UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, and we'd be studying, and I'd study these chapters and go on and on and on and take the quizzes at the end of the chapter. And I remember when I first opened the book, I was like fucking fascinated, because one of the first thing I did was look for the pictures. I didn't want to see all the fucking wording. I wanted to see the cool pictures. And I remember opening it up, and I saw this picture of this arm that was broken, fucked up, with a bone sticking out. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Like, oh man, it's gonna be fucking great. Fuck. It was great for a little bit. But I'd study there till 2-3 in the morning. I'd quiz myself. Anything less than a 95 was fucking failing to me. Again, I had more to prove. When we were done studying at the end of the night, she would go home. I'd go find a little truck stop out there, and I'd go park out there and go inside, take a shower. And I didn't get to shower all the time, of course. So if you guys that I went to school with smelt me and didn't tell me that I was funky, sorry. Couldn't shower all the time. But I did it. I went through EMT school that way as a fucking felon already. I was in a stolen car and living on the streets, and I was scared. I was insecure. I had no fucking idea what I got myself into. But I did it. I fucking got into it. I did it. And looking back now, I'm kind of on the fence as to if I would do it again. I don't know. But I can tell you this, man. I can tell you one thing I learned about this is I had such an amazing fucking time with so many different people that I worked with. Firemen, paramedics, EMTs, nurses, doctors, civilians. I got to experience some of the most amazing, fucked up, tragic, joyful, crazy fucking experiences I could ever imagine. Along the way, though, I lost a big part of me. You know, I don't know if you guys in the EMS feel this way, but if you ever think, if you've never thought, I do. This is one of the things when I say protect your mind, protect your heart, is every time I lost somebody that I worked on, every time I put my hands on somebody whose life I was trying to save and I wasn't able to save them, they took a piece of me with them. My heart, if you look at my heart right now, the way I visualize my heart has so many cracks all over it. And some of those cracks are missing. And to me that signifies pieces of my heart that got taken with those people who I couldn't save. That was one of those things where, you know, I buried a lot of what I dealt with or didn't deal with, things I saw while I was on duty. I carried that with me. I still carry that. I took it very personally when I wasn't able to save anybody. And there were a lot of those. I don't have a count on lives saved. I have a count on lives lost. And it's infinite in my eyes. You know, I didn't protect myself the way I should have mentally and in my heart, you know, because again, I carried it. But who doesn't? You know, when you're out there and you're fighting to save somebody's life, you know, you do everything you can. I learned that, you know, when I became a paramedic, I learned that even more, because it all falls on you. It all falls on you. You make those decisions. You know, you've got to decide whether you're going to push epi, you're going to intubate, you're going to defibrillate, you know, whether you're going to call it, are you going to run the call just because? I mean, you make that decision. Everything you do falls on you. If you're a good paramedic, everything you do fucking falls on you. You know, you're going to take it personal. And I took it personal every time I lost somebody. So, you know, yeah, felon, homeless, living in a stolen car, busting my ass as an EMT student, you know, and my first job was volunteer. It was fucking cool, man. But again, this is the start. This video, I know it's shitty, whatever. I'm not even going to edit it. I'm just going to fucking put it out there, because if I don't get this video out there, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing for the last probably 2 years, just talking about it and never doing it. So here we are, guys. I hope you fucking join me on this journey. I've got a lot of amazing things to talk about. Hopefully I can help some of you guys, the new guys or newer guys, learn from my mistakes, maybe reevaluate things in the way you're approaching things. Definitely I want to make sure that I can invoke or get you guys to take more seriously your mental health, your health and wellness. If you've not had suicidal thoughts and had major fucking depression and thinking that the best thing for you to do was eat a fucking bullet like I have, then you are definitely, if you haven't had those thoughts, and you're definitely not nowhere near where I and many others have gone. But if you are there, I'd like to help you get through it. I'd like to have you feel like, you know, you're not alone. I've had to bury a lot of my co-workers over the years to suicide. I've been to many funerals for brothers and sisters that have taken their own life. And it sucks, you know. And that's something that I struggle with still to this day. I still struggle with that. There are times when that thought comes up and I'm thinking, you know what, it's still, man, just a bullet. I just got to do it. Maybe just fuck it. I'm tired. I can't do this. I'm not sleeping. I'm having these nightmares. I'm hearing those screams. I'm smelling that smell of flesh. Guilt. I tried. I couldn't save, that person. So, you know, I struggle with that still. And I'm sure that many of you out there also do as well. So let's take this journey together. Let's grow this channel. The page, whatever, however the fuck we're doing this, and let's have some fun along the way. I hope to help you guys, and I definitely see that this is going to help me grow and heal as well. So I look forward to it. Thank you all for watching this video. Those of you that took the time, God bless. Be good.